Okay, January is almost over, meaning 2024 is in full swing, and that means it's time to start working towards our goals for the year. Obviously, you can't reach all your goals in 1 month, let alone one day, but today I'm going to try and become my vision board and go over some of my goals for 2024. Disclaimer, my take on this will definitely not be as aesthetic as my vision board looks. I also do have some more manifesty type items on here, such as going to a beach house in like North Carolina or Cape Cod and living my summer I turned pretty fantasy. So while some of them are a little bit more manifesty, I do have also really tangible and realistic goals on here as well. So let's get started. So here is my vision board that I created for 2024 as of right now. I also write out a list of kind of goals and just things I want to do, even if they're just fun little things. So sometimes that doesn't reflect into the vision board itself, but I have my laptop here and I'm just looking at the pictures. So one thing that I really want to make sure I do this year is maintain or improve my flexibility. So the bottom right picture is this lovely girl doing I don't even know what that is. It looks like she's doing a yoga move and she's really flexible, but I would call it like a penché almost, an overextended penché, that's for sure. And that represents my goal to become more flexible, which is one that we can start working on today. Okay, let's be real, this photo is a little bit unrealistic. Even at my peak flexibility, which I think was in high school probably, when I was stretching like 3 to 4 times a week for dance, I wasn't even this flexible. I think I'm naturally not that flexible as well, like my limbs won't do that, but who knows, maybe they will. Maybe I will be a complete gymnast yogini by the end of the year, so we're gonna try. I think realistically my goal would be to stretch at least once to twice a week, because now that I'm working more like a desk job, I don't walk around enough or move enough. This is definitely a start to a very long process to get more flexible. It's not going to happen in one day, and I also don't want to injure myself or pull any muscles and try to go crazy and do the splits. So I'm going to start now, baby steps. Also, sorta relatedly, I got this Lululemon running shirt, which relates to my goal to run this year, which is also on my vision board. I'm not going to do that right away though. I don't even want to attempt today. It's just too much, too soon. Okay, I've decided I am done for my stretching today. I honestly wasn't in as bad shape in terms of flexibility as I thought I was going to be. The next thing isn't really a goal, but I guess it's something that I do, and that is sometimes when I have something, not like luxury, but something like a nicer product or like a nice perfume, I tend to not use it just because I'm thinking like, oh, I want to save it, I don't want to use it too much, I want to keep it for as long as I can. And that's one thing that I want to get better at this year, is letting myself use my nice things and kind of like treating myself. I don't really know what it will take in terms of form in the new year. One thing would be like using my nice Lush face mask, which I'm gonna do now, or like using my nice perfume, as I said. Essentially what I'm trying to say, which I did not explain well, is I'm trying to use things and treat myself to little luxuries instead of saving them for a later date. Okay, I put her on and I'm gonna set the timer for 15 minutes and we'll let it sit. And then I have this picture of a girl who is swimming in the ocean, I believe. Maybe it's a lake, who really knows? But this represents my desire and my goal to swim in the ocean more and just enjoy where I live, because I do live so close to a beach. And this is actually a goal. I kind of had it last year as well, and I will say that I swam a lot more, even if it meant going by myself, even if it meant just going for a dip at the end of the day. I enjoyed the ocean more and I swam in it more, and it's kind of funny because I used to definitely be afraid of the ocean and I wouldn't want to go in, let alone by myself or when it's cold. But this is something that I want to either maintain or do more of. Now, could I start working towards this goal today? Maybe. Looking at the weather today in Vancouver, it is -2 degrees, and yesterday it was -8, so it's actually freezing. I did see a picture of the beach today and the ocean is actually partially frozen, so I'm not gonna start working towards that goal today. It's definitely more of a summer thing, but I did want to include it just because it's something I really enjoy, and putting things that make me happy on there will just remind me to keep doing them. Then I have this nice little aesthetic desk setup on here. And let me tell you, my desk setup right now does not look like that. I mentioned it in another video, but I'm working from home right now, and so I have two honkin' black monitors that are not aesthetic at all. The keyboard, the mouse, it's not looking cute, wires everywhere, my desk isn't big enough, and so seeing this on Pinterest, I'm like, wow, that is what I want it to be. I feel like when your desk is organized and looking good, you can put out your best work. Is this something I'm going to work towards today? I don't think so, but this is something in my short-term goals for the future. This would also help with romanticizing my daily life, just because if I'm spending 8 hours at this setup, I want it to be something I enjoy and something that is, I don't know, pleasing to the eye. I also have a picture of a matcha in the process of being made, and this is representing the fact that I want to not spend as much money getting drinks out. I want to master making like a really nice latte at home and a really nice matcha latte. So yesterday I tried to make an iced matcha latte. I wouldn't call it a fail, but it wasn't amazing. As I said, I don't have the proper equipment, like the little whisk and everything. When I tried to froth the matcha with the hot water, it absolutely overflowed over my mug. And then I also put too much milk in, or I just didn't use enough matcha because it wasn't hitting with the matcha flavor. So today we're gonna do attempt number 2, but this time I'm gonna make a latte because it might be easier, and also I want coffee. It's already like 12:30 and I haven't had a coffee today. I also don't have a real espresso machine where you grind the beans and do all that, so I'm just gonna use an espresso. Let's do a little concoction. Of course, one of the pictures on here is of a book, and maybe I should have actually done like a stack of books to represent it better, but I want to hit my goal or exceed my goal from last year of reading 40 books. So I've made the same goal to do 40. I'm hoping that I'll go over it and maybe have to adjust it at some point in the year, but for now we're going with 40. This is definitely a goal I have already started working towards this year and can do today. Okay, so right now I am reading The Ballad of the Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. So it is the origin story for President Snow, but this is the 3rd book so far for 2024. I will say it's interesting because I did see the movie, and a lot of the times when there's books turned into movies, I would read the book first, likely, and then watch the movie, but this way it was the other way around. So I watched the movie and now I'm reading the book. I kind of wanted to read the book because people were saying in the movie Snow doesn't seem like as bad, but in the book you kind of get to see his inner monologue more, so I thought that would be interesting. But I also find it interesting because since I saw the movie first, now all I can imagine are the actors that play them, and I wonder what I would have imagined it like if I had read the book first. Nevertheless, I am enjoying it so far, and I am reading it pretty quick, even though it's not my favorite book. So let's make a little bit more of a dent. Then I have this cute little painting on an easel. What I'm thinking in terms of this is I want to make more time to be creative. That's a side that sometimes gets lost. And so whether it be painting, whether it be dancing, drawing, making a cool video or something like that, I want to make sure I remember my creative side and take a little bit more time and set that aside to enjoy those things and those hobbies. I'm going to paint today and see how that goes. I haven't painted in a while. I used to really like painting though, and in high school obviously I took like art class and stuff, but it's been a while. I think it was last year or so I did do this one, which turned out actually pretty decently, I would say. I followed like a tutorial just on YouTube, I think, and I really like how that turned out. So we could either do something like that again, or alternatively I started a second one and I haven't finished it, like I didn't put the details into it, so I could finish off this landscape one and just add some details, or we could go completely different and do something crazy. So I don't know what I'm gonna do exactly. So I think I'm done for painting today. It was honestly pretty fun, and I like just watching like videos and listening to music while I do it, and I ended up making a cute little Valentine's Day card, or at least the start of one, and then I'm gonna write on the little candy hearts. This other picture here is of a girl getting ready, and it just looks kind of fun. She's on the floor, she has a glass of wine. This represents kind of, I guess, almost two things, I guess. One would be romanticizing the little things a bit more. So this could be doing my makeup, so enjoying it more even just on a regular day and taking the time to really appreciate it and enjoy the process. And the second is if I'm going out, I want it to be like a whole event. Which I don't know if this makes sense, but I'm not super big on going out. I do like to go out sometimes. One thing I do like if I am gonna go out is I want the whole day to be about that event in the evening. I want to have like an hour or two to get ready. I want to have drinks before I go out, just to romanticize it more. So this picture does represent kind of two things for me, I would say, but honestly it just looks like a good time and I want to be like that. As for the text that I put on, I put success is a decision, as well as no matter how unrealistic it seems, it's going to happen. I have always been a really big dreamer, I would say. Sometimes I dream up really unrealistic things and I try to manifest them, and I want to go into 2024 and have that idea. Even if it's crazy, I can make it happen. And with success is a decision. It's like if I decide it's gonna happen, it can happen. I decide to put in the work, then something is achievable. I also wanted to include just a little bit of a recap from 2023 because it is always great to reflect on the past year and just how things went. 2023 was definitely a transition year as well as a year with a lot of growth. So I moved out of my apartment that I had been living in for 2 years and I moved back into my family home. That was a huge transition from living with just one roommate to living with my whole family. As well, I graduated from university, of course, and that was a huge transition from my identity of being a student to not really knowing how to classify myself almost. It was also a really great moment as well, wrapping up the 4 years and the effort that I did put in at school. I also got my first full-time job in 2023 and started working and just getting into a real like adult life, I guess you would say. 2023 also marked the first time that I traveled alone. So I had flown overseas alone before, but I had never actually like stayed alone for a portion of time and gone out and done things on my own. I also got to travel with my friend and my family, and it was the first family vacation we had since before COVID. And honestly, 2023 was a great year for me. It treated me pretty well, and I'm hoping to bring that over into 2024 and just have an amazing year. I think this year will also be a year of growth and kind of actually finding my footing and figuring out what I want to do. So I'm excited, and I want to thank you for watching this video. I hope January has treated you well so far and that 2024 will definitely continue to as well.